All the top stories on WION Speed News. Funeral prayers were held in Istanbul for Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi more than a month after his slaying at the Saudi consulate. Khashoggi's friends, Turkish politicians and others attended the prayers at the Istanbul's Faith Mosque. The prayers were held in absentia because the Washington Post columnist's remains have not been found. The prayers came a day after Saudi Arabia announced it would seek the death penalty against 5 men suspected in the killing. The CIA has concluded that the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered Khashoggi's killing. A report by US media outlet states that a team of 15 Saudi agents flew to Istanbul on government aircraft in October. The hit squad proceeded to kill Khashoggi inside the consulate. It also states that Mohammed bin Salman's brother, Khalid bin Salman, spoke with Khashoggi over the phone and assured him that going to the Saudi consulate would be safe. Khalid bin Salman has, however, denied all such charges. A federal judge in America has ordered the U.S. President Donald Trump must restore the White House access to CNN reporter Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta, the chief White House correspondent for CNN, got into a testy exchange with Trump in a regular briefing a day after the midterm elections, after which the White House denied him access. The network argued that this violated Jim Acosta's constitutional rights. U.S. President Donald Trump has said that a list of trade concessions offered by Chinese officials in recent days will not resolve the trade tensions. He said it was not sufficient to resolve U.S. concerns about Beijing's trade practices. He also announced his administration may not impose further tariffs on Beijing. Northern California's air quality has become the worst in the world as the state battles devastating fires. According to monitoring groups, the air is now worse than smoggy cities in India and China. Internet searches for smoke masks has rapidly increased.
Get up, copy now.
Displaced residents of the completely devastated town of Paradise were seeking shelter in the parking lot of a local Walmart where a makeshift tent city has been set up. Since the campfire swept rapidly into the town of Paradise, hundreds of people have been made homeless and hundreds of others remain missing. California's deadliest wildfire roared into the town of 27,000 people last week, leaving residents little time to flee. 630 people are listed as missing, while the death toll has climbed to 63. Georgia Democrat leader Stacey Abrams has defeat in her effort to become the first black female U.S. governor. Now, Abrams' announcement effectively hands victory to Republican Brian Kemp in a bitter race. During his concession speech, she accused Kemp of using his position as Georgia Secretary of State to interfere with the vote, an allegation he has strongly denied. She's also planning to sue the state over voting problems and gross mismanagement of the election. Britain has urged the United Nations Security Council to back a humanitarian truce in Yemen. This comes as the UN Yemen envoy assured that the warring parties were committed to attending peace talks in Sweden. British UN Ambassador Karen Pierce said she would give the 15-member council a draft resolution on Monday that would enshrine 5 requests made by UN Aid Chief Mark Lowcock, including protection of the supply of food and essential goods. Thousands of Palestinians participated in a Hamas-organized rally along the perimeter fence dividing Gaza from Israel, with crowds staying at least 300 meters from the fence. Gaza's health ministry said 40 Palestinians were injured by Israeli fire and tear gas during the protest. Witnesses said most of the injuries occurred in stone-throwing incidents in the 5 protest locations. No burning of tires or attempts to breach the fence were reported. Such acts have often triggered lethal Israeli army fire. A bomb blast killed at least 2 people and wounded 10 others in Pakistan's port city of Karachi. The blast reportedly damaged buildings and triggered panic in the densely populated Malir district. Another bomb was found at the site. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. Sri Lanka's parliament was disrupted for a second day, with lawmakers allied to the disputed Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapakse hurling chairs at the marshals and allegedly throwing chili powder at lawmakers. The vote went ahead anyway, and for a second time, lawmakers turned against Rajapakse and his new government, possibly opening the way for the return of Ranil Wickremesinghe as Prime Minister. Wickremesinghe was removed by President Maithripala Sirisena last month and replaced with Rajapakse, plunging the country into a political turmoil. Hundreds of Rohingya refugees staged a demonstration near the Myanmar border against the repatriation program on the day the first group were due to be sent back. More than 700,000 Rohingyas fled Myanmar's Rakhine state into Bangladesh after military crackdown in August 2017, which according to the United States was akin to a genocide. A fire swept through a passenger bus in Zimbabwe, killing more than 40 people and injuring at least 20. The bus driver, who is also among the few survivors of the accident, said he could smell petrol inside the bus shortly before an explosion happened. Zimbabwe president said in a condolence message that combustible material was allowed into the bus, thus causing a fire which entrapped, scalded and consumed innocent passengers. China has donated over $17 million worth of military equipment to Argentina as the South American nation prepares to host heads of states for the G20 in Buenos Aires. Amongst the items donated are military-grade vehicles, motorcycles and security scanning equipment for explosive devices. This year's G20 comes amidst trade tensions, Brexit and an expected meeting between President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the event in Argentina. Cyclone Gaja has wreaked havoc in southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, killing at least 11 people. The state government has set up more than 470 relief camps and had evacuated more than 80,000 people from their homes in vulnerable areas. Cyclone Gaja made landfall in the early hours of Friday but then weakened as it moved inland. Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has announced compensation of 1 million rupees for the families of those killed. A train which traces the journey of Lord Rama was flagged off from the Indian capital of New Delhi. The Sri Ramayana Express would trace the places visited by Ram during the course of his 14 years in exile. According to the epic poem Ramayana, the passengers received a traditional welcome from the railway officials. The journey was flagged off from Safdarjung railway station in New Delhi. The Ramayana Express will run from Ayodhya, Rama's hometown in the state of Uttar Pradesh to Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. Thousands of tourists from across the world flocked the annual Pushkar camel fair in India's northwestern desert state of Rajasthan. The fair is popular for trade of thousands of animals, mainly camels. However, scores of cultural programs like folk dances, music performances, moustache competitions, puppet and magic shows, camel races and rides are also prime attraction for tourists looking to experience a flavor of India's royal state. A giant panda called Bebe enjoyed a snowy day despite heavy snowstorms hitting his home in Washington, D.C.'s Smithsonian National Zoo. The Bebe was seen rolling in the snow and climbing trees in his enclosure. The U.S. Weather Service has said that snowstorm would also affect parts of New York and Pennsylvania. A massive collage of 125 drawings and messages from children around the world about climate change was rolled out on a shrinking Swiss glacier, smashing the world record for giant postcards. The colorful postcards were sent in by children from around the world and bore messages relating to various environmental causes such as pollution, deforestation, and global warming. 7 rare vintage posters of Mickey Mouse are expected to fetch thousands of dollars at an auction that coincides with the 90th anniversary of the cartoon character's first film appearance. The 7 posters dating from the 1930s and 1940s went on display at a commemorative exhibition in London organized by Disney. They're going under the Sotheby's hammer in an online auction that runs until November 26th.